The aftermath of the explosions never got a conclusion, or at the very least I'm kept in the dark about it, which makes sense. I'm not privy to that information, I am still their prisoner. An uneventful week later, I'm in the infirmary working alongside Bilius. He's not a man of many words, but he does answer my questions. He does answer any questions I have. Today he's been showing me how to sterilize wounds. You're getting pretty good at this, he compliments me, seeing my work on the patient. Ah, careful, the patient cries out when I nick him at a sensitive spot on his wound. Sorry, I apologize quickly. Hold still, please. I'm so engrossed with my work that time flies by. It's easy to keep busy so that I'm unable to have much time to think for myself. A distraction, pretty much. You seem a little less anxious today, remarks Bilius once we're left alone. Did I seem anxious before? Yes, after the explosions in the city you seemed more withdrawn and perhaps a bit numb. How close has he been keeping a watch on me? Well, he's like a healer. It is my job to track the health of everyone in the palace, he explains when he sees the look on my face. How is your monthly cycle? He asks out of the blue. I had to explain to Bilius what a menstrual cycle was once he noticed I was cramping. At the very least, he couldn't actually smell any blood. It stopped. I feel a lot better, I reply. At least I was able to wash my reusable period panties. The servants were kind enough to let me use their washing facilities, because, don't want anyone else to deal with that, I guess. Good, your complexion has gotten better too. You really do sound like a worried doctor. Awkwardly, he averts his gaze away from me. Is it bothersome? I shake my head. No, it's fine. Thank you for worrying. I will have to note down this biological behavior about Earthlings, he mutters to himself. Humans, I find myself correcting him, we call ourselves human. He simply closes his eyes. My mistake. We tend to call each race from the planet they're from. How do you know it was called Earth? I ask. We didn't. Your planet is called HX-108 to us. I believe shortly after entering your atmosphere, Prince James received messages from your planet, broadcasts. That's the first time I've heard of it. Like videos. Radio waves. Oh, I see. I think they used it to fine-tune the babblefish before engaging. It's why he was able to speak your language right away. He spoke my language too. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Wait. My ears perk up. Bilius hasn't shared much private information with me, so it surprises me when I hear him say two. Two? I repeat. I'm curious. I've seen the jewelry on his arm, the tracker. Læna and I each have one, though she had to get it replaced. I'm starting to suspect, combined with Bilius's exotic appearance, which is too different from the Gaud, that he doesn't belong here. Bilius realizes what he said and grows quiet. He's not going to volunteer that information, is he? I'll have to ask directly. Bilius, why do you have to wear a tracker? Bilius quietly starts cleaning up the infirmary, putting away used bandages and bottles. He does this for a while, long enough for me to think I won't be getting an answer out of him anytime soon. But then he speaks up. My planet was called Grinya, he says softly. Peaceful. We were all pacifists. A lot of us were capable of healing the sick and wounded. I'm noticing the lack of present tense when he's describing his people. Grinya was also full of water, a prime target for Lord Veritas' army. I can see where this is going. He took over the planet, didn't he? Bilius hesitates for a second. There's a sorrowful expression in his eyes. Prince James led the attack. I can feel this huge lump form in my throat. It's hard to swallow. I can see why the two of you don't get along now, I say, thinking back to the times Bilius has been disagreeable with James. Intrigued by my abilities to heal the others, he took me with him. A grim shadow washes over him. The rest weren't so fortunate. I end up gasping. It's just like my story, except this time James succeeded. Is this what would have happened if he didn't get stopped? Attacking a peaceful planet full of people who didn't want to fight. How cowardly of them, I say, angry on the behalf of Bilius. Lord Veritas doesn't follow any rules but his own. He will conquer what he can. Not if I can help it, I grumble. I'm going to be a thorn in their side every step of the way. He raises his eyebrows. A thorn in their side? Oh, it's just a human expression. It means I'm going to make it difficult for them. I'm not backing down without a fight. He chuckles lightly. I admire your perseverance. It hasn't been all bad, though. In this darkness, you find yourself getting support from the ones you least suspect. Yeah, you and Læna have something going on, huh? The doors to the infirmary burst open. Speak of the devil. Bill! Læna announces loudly. Bilius jumps up straight, his face suddenly sporting a rosy colour, like he's been caught sharing a secret. Princess Læna, he squeaks in a high voice. Hello, good day, I greet her with a smile. Oh, you're here too. How's my outfit coming along? She asks eagerly. It should be finished by tonight. I've been working on it every night now. In fact, it's taking me so long because I don't have a sewing machine, nor do I have any sort of needle or thread to use. I've just been using my own thread and hand stitching it. Not to mention, I've been asking anyone to give me any spare jewellery they have lying around. Most of them came from Læna herself. Great! And don't worry, Bill. You'll be the first to see me in my new attire. She gives him a seductive smile. Bilius ends up awkwardly coughing into his hand, blushing slightly. I think he likes her. That's kind of adorable. But the ramifications ring eerily in the back of my mind. Liking the sister of the man who kidnapped you and conquered your planet. Actually, something still doesn't add up. Princess Læna? I ask, getting her attention. Hmm? Why do you have to wear that? I point at the new tracker on her arm. Læna flips her hair over her shoulder, then taps the large gem with her finger. Don't you think it kind of clashes with my skin tone? She asks, feigning innocence. Captain Caleb said it's because you like to run off. What does that mean? Are you also... So many questions, Princess. Is she always like this? She asks, turning her attention to Bilius. I cannot fault her curiosity. She's in an unfamiliar place filled with strangers. Well, let's not talk about a boring piece of jewellery like this. Instead, let's get back to your work. I'm impatient to see your results. I sigh, realizing I'm not going to get an answer out of her. Læna does as she pleases. If you come to my room tonight, you'll be able to fit it, I say. That sounds great. Bill will want to join. Pardon me, he stutters. I believe a man visiting a woman's room late at night is overstep. You and your archaic norms. We're not asking you to bed her. Just come and join our party, completely harmless. Yes, I would like you to come as well, I encourage him. It's nice to have people around to talk to. I get really bored and lonely in my room. Then it's decided, Læna exclaims. Bilius simply sighs in defeat. Late at night, I prepare my final stitches, making sure I've got everything nice and polished. While originally I simply wanted to make more underwear for myself, I ended up creating an entire dress for Læna. Well, a two-piece anyway. I tried to incorporate the planet's own fashion style and mix it with my personal touch. I couldn't really make her anything modern that people would wear on Earth, as that would really stand out. Imagine a business suit on Læna. Ha! Instead, I went for a more belly dancer-inspired outfit, lavishly decorated with golden jewellery. Soon, the both of them arrive at my room. Now, let's see what you've created for me, says Læna with a glint in her eyes. Bilius stands to the side, seemingly a little out of place. I show Læna the two-piece, to which she immediately starts disrobing herself. Princess Læna, Bilius shrieks as he turns around. Why are you so easily frightened? There's an air of confidence around her words. You should take your chance when it's presented to you, Bilius, she chuckles. Let me know when you're decent, he mutters. I help Læna get into her new clothes, feeling a bit like I'm a servant at this point. Her top slides off her rich bronze skin, revealing the massive scar on her back. I almost audibly gasp when I see it, a slash going right down the middle of her spine. She tilts her head, noticing I've stopped my movements. Like what you see? She hums. Yes. I avert my eyes. It's improper to stare at scars. Putting it in the back of my mind, I continue helping her dress. My measurements seem to have been fine, despite having to do everything manually and creating my own measuring tape. It's a little saggy at her chest, so I quickly put in a few extra stitches to help it stay up. There, now it's perfect. Oh, she looks gorgeous. It's certainly peculiar to see you stitch, she says, finding my ability fascinating. You look gorgeous, I compliment her because she really does look fantastic in her new outfit. So, this is Earth fashion, she muses as she rubs her hands along the fabric, touching the jewellery with her fingertips. Well, it's not Earth fashion exactly, but Læna doesn't need to know that. Can you believe it? She made it with the fabric from that little stall at the market. It must have been cheap, yet it feels so right, she says to Bilius. Bilius, doesn't it look magnificent? She asks, twirling in front of him, the gold shimmering in the light. Bilius turns around, having had his back faced to us the entire time, and takes in Læna's new look. Yes, magnificent, he repeats. You like it? I ask, finding myself glowing at her positive reaction. It's very agreeable on me. Splendid. Finally, no more stuffy clothes. I'll be the star of the marker for sure. That's good to hear. Do all princesses on Earth sew their own clothes? Læna questions me. I knew this would come back to haunt me. Just me, I clarify. It's a hobby. More like my entire life work. You're very talented if it's just a hobby. I giggle nervously. All of a sudden, a soldier bursts into my room. The three of us jump in surprise. This is a checkup, he yells at us. Have you seen the young Prince Nornus anywhere? I see a bunch of other soldiers outside running around. When the soldier finally notices that Læna is in the room as well, he promptly clams up and stands up straight. He bows politely. Princess Læna, he says in a much softer tone. There's no prince here, Læna answers in a bored tone. Now, you're bothering us. Please leave. Princess Læna, of course. The soldier respectfully bows and retreats. It's surprising how his tone suddenly switched when he saw Læna was in the room with us. She seems to earn a lot of respect among the soldiers. Læna sighs loudly. I guess our party is over. The place is buzzing with soldiers. It sounds like they're looking for Prince Nornus. Is he missing? I ask, a little concerned. What if rebels have gotten inside the palace and kidnapped him or something? Unlikely. He's probably just hiding around in his garden. That little prince can be quite mischievous. I agree with Princess Læna. But Læna, he is most likely in the palace still. No need to worry. The palace is heavily fortified. No one would be able to take the young prince. Everyone seems to be so casual about it, even when those explosions went off in the city. However, I was never told about the aftermath. I'm kept in the dark, and it bothers me more than it should. We should let you get some rest. Bill and I have something to discuss. Bilius looks at her like he has no idea what she's talking about. We do? He asks. Oh, lots for sure, she purrs. Bilius clears his throat, his cyan eyes avoiding Læna as much as possible. You are a wonderful tailor, Princess Valkii. I bid you good night, he says. Yes, please rest well, I say and bow my head towards him. Thank you so much for my new attire. I am smitten with it. Læna flashes a brilliant smile at me. She ends up pushing Bilius out of my room, finally leaving me alone. I sit down on my bed and release a sigh. Their flirting is a little heavy-handed at times. Oh, I noticed Læna forgot to bring her old clothes with her. They're still on the floor. I quickly gather them up. Perhaps I'll give it back to her next time. I walk towards the wardrobe on the far side of the room and open it up. Unexpectedly, out rolls a person, limbs flailing everywhere. I let out one of the highest and girliest screams of my life. He screams in return, startled at being found. Prince Nornus, I cry, finally getting my wits back. I thought my heart would stop. The prince picks himself up from the floor. He looks a little disheveled since he fell out of my wardrobe just now. Wait, was he hiding in there? What are you... Please be quiet, they'll find me. In fact, not a moment later, and my door slides open. I whirl around to see Bilius at the door, having run the way back. I heard a shriek. Is everything all right? He asks, out of breath. I look behind me, but Nornus is missing. It seems he instantly withdrew back into the wardrobe like a ninja. Læna was right. He is mischievous, and even a little devious. I laugh tensely. What do I do now? Should I out him? I stubbed my toe, I say and point towards the wardrobe, and it really hurt, I lie. Bilius heaves a sigh. I thought something might have happened to you. Sorry, I'm just very clumsy. Please be careful now, he says and bows out. It's weird you don't ask to look at my toe since you're a doctor, but alright. I groan out loud once I hear his footsteps disappear. Then I hear a tiny voice from inside the wardrobe. Is he gone? You can come out now, I say exasperatedly. Prince Nornus pushes open the wardrobe and climbs out. He sheepishly gives me a smile as he shuffles on his feet. You better have a good reason for hiding here, I warn him. You made me lie. Now I'm an accomplice. Nornus fiddles with his slender fingers, pouting at the floor. I promise if I get caught, I won't mention you at all. I don't think that's the point I'm making here, I sigh. Actually, has he been here this entire time, watching us? Did you see Princess Læna strip? No, he shrieks. I looked away. I didn't realize this was your room, Princess. In fact, I feel awful for barging in. He suddenly bows deeply in front of me. But when I heard your voices, I couldn't reveal myself anymore. I'm so sorry for treading on your private chambers. He seems so apologetic. It's hard to be stern with him for hiding in my room, especially since he's also a prince. It's all right, but really, what are you doing here, Prince Nornus? He lets out a tiny sigh. I may have tried to explore the areas I'm forbidden to visit. His pale cheeks turn a shade of pink with his next sentence. I admit I also wanted to find you. Me? I repeat, surprised. Why me? You were really nice to me when we met, he says nervously. You're the only person to have seen my garden. It was a pleasant experience to share it with someone. There's a sense of longing in his voice. He seems happy to talk about the garden. I simply wanted to invite you back, he mumbles shyly. Nornis has such an innocent demeanor that my heart positively melts for him. He wanted to invite me to his garden. That's really sweet. But does your brother, Lord Veritas, not want anyone in the garden? In general, I'm simply not allowed to have much contact with anyone in the palace. If he knew I was here, he'd be livid. That's a very sheltered life he has. It's almost tragic. A prince locked up in a palace. I may be locked up as well, but at the very least I've interacted with quite a few people around here, so I don't go mad with loneliness. I can't fault him for wanting to reach out to someone. I give him a gentle smile. Well, it'll be our secret then. Nornis's eyes light up in response, and he shows me a beaming smile in return. I knew you'd understand. Calm down. Please don't alert the guards outside. Right, actually, I must be taking my leave. I didn't mean to intrude at all. So, are you going to invite me to your garden? I ask, gently fishing for an invitation. Oh, Princess Valkii, would you like to come to the garden again? I'd be happy to, I answer with a smile. Happy that I accepted, Nornis starts grinning widely. It's almost infectious. He's super cute, a stark contrast to what I've seen of Veritas. I almost can't believe those two are related. I'm there every single day, so, I'll be waiting, he says shyly. Then he runs off towards the door. Bye, he says in a cheeky manner before slipping away. I shake my head at him with a smile. Guess I'll be breaking a few more rules. I haven't had the chance to visit Nornis yet. Simply put, I've been too busy. There's a lot of work to be done in the infirmary. Bilius has me set on collecting blood from the soldiers. For what reason, I know not, but it's quite tiring. At the end of the day, I simply want to crawl back into my bed. As I round the corner, my nose bumps into a firm chest. Oh well, it's either Caleb or James, because you know they're both really buff. Ow! I yelp and stumble backwards. Captain James. James clicks his tongue at me. When I notice he's holding the tracking device in his hands, he hurriedly puts it away in his pouch. Wait, were you tracking me just now? Genius observation you made there, Princess. What else kind of purpose does a tracking device have? Stingy, he seems to be in a bad mood. I'm not breaking any rules, I say slowly. I'm allowed to roam around once the work is done in the infirmary. All in all, I should be thankful that I retained some sort of autonomy. That's not at all what I thought would be the case when he kidnapped me. I thought I'd be thrown in a dungeon, chained to a wall, being fed scraps of food, maybe abused, tortured, or I'm not saying that, who knows. Reality has been a lot more forgiving than my fantasies. Not to say I'm enjoying my time here, but it's better than what I had prepared myself for. I didn't say you were, he says, slightly shaking his head. I was looking for you. Why? Are we going back to Earth? I ask, hopeful. Tomorrow is the Marker Festival, he explains, ignoring my question. Right. Princess Læna told me she'd be leading it. Well, she's requested your presence, he says gruffly. It seems he didn't quite agree with her sentiments. She did? Then I'm not going to refuse. You can't refuse either way, James points out. At least entertain me with the illusion that you're asking instead of demanding, I reply bitterly. He crosses his arms, a glint of a glare in his brown eyes. Do I look like an entertainer to you? He flexes his biceps as if to prove a point that he is indeed a captain and not an entertainer. It has only been a day since I found out he conquered Bilius's home planet and took him away as well. I should be afraid of him, disgusted even. Yet there he stands, arms crossed, trying to flex his muscles at me. Of all the things he could do to intimidate me, this is what he's going with. It comes across as so innocuous and benign, it's almost silly. I end up snorting out loud at how funny he looks. Not expecting me to laugh, James stands there, his posture turning awkward. He's peeved at my reaction. I was like, I need to take a little screenshot. Are you mocking me? He asks incredulously. Yes, I'm laughing at you, I say, chuckling lightly. I guess you can be an entertainer. For a split moment in time, blink and you miss it, James's face comes undone, mouth open, eyebrows furled together in confusion, and a flash of emotion in his eyes, something other than anger or annoyance. And just as fast, he's back to scowling at me, baring his fangs. You will not mock me in this way, he huffs, clearly offended. Perhaps I should take away your dinner for tonight. Maybe that will remind you of your place. My mouth drops open. The situation stopped being funny. You wouldn't. I narrow my eyes at him. A confident smirk. He's got me there. What was that before? You acted like it was the end of the universe simply because you hadn't had your provisions yet that day. I pursed my lips at him. I've been working all day at the infirmary. I'm hungry as I can be. No way could I sleep on an empty stomach. That's cruel, is all I end up saying. Then stop turning me into a mockery. You're doing a fine job of that yourself, I mutter. James glares at me and all of a sudden he thrusts something into my hand. Take this. I'm confused by what I'm holding in the palm of my hand. A small woven ornament, it seems, made out of twigs resembling a star, or a sun, maybe. There's a red ribbon dangling at one of the ends. What is this? Am I supposed to tie this up somewhere? Is it like a charm? Ask someone else. Bring it with you tomorrow night, he grumbles. Then, without another word, James flies off the balcony. I'm left staring at the small ornament. The festival could be heard from a very long distance away, I'm sure. The drums are pretty overwhelming. It's being held right in front of the main gate. They've erected a huge bonfire in the middle. Tons of gout are dancing around it. I stand on the side away from the fire. The smell of burning wood sickens me. It's okay, it's just a bonfire, part of their festival or whatever. No need to go into panic mode. You can do this, just take a deep breath. I take a deep breath to calm myself down. The atmosphere is lively and bold. The gates have been opened to the common folk, it seems, as the area is crowded with those that aren't servants or soldiers. It's hard not to get swept up in their rhythm. For a brief moment, it doesn't feel like I'm a prisoner, just a woman enjoying a really cool festival. There's a friendly tap on my shoulder. Princess Valkii. I turn to face Eok with a smile. Hey! Happy to see Princess make it. Maka Festival happen every 20 noon. 20 months? Eok, how long is a noon? I don't actually know. Eok starts counting on his fingers, deep in thought. Eok think 19 days. Oh, that's less than a month. Makes sense. They have their own orbit around the sun with their own way of marking time. I've been thankful that a day is very similar to Earth at the very least. Okay, so it's less than a month. Also, could you tell me what this is? Captain James gave it to me, but I don't know what to do with it, I ask, and then show him the ornament. Eok ends up smiling, showcasing his own that's tied to his wrist. Everyone get it. At end, you tie to someone respectful. Do you tie this around someone's wrist? Yes, left wrist. Left one. Right you. Left not you. Then he points at a soldier, surrounded by plenty of others. He's got a bunch of those ornaments tied around his wrist. Some start early. I giggle. I guess he must be popular. Eok helps me tie the ornament to my right wrist. Ah, Princess Valkii, you came. I hear someone call my name. Can I give it to him? That would be hilarious. And I think would, like, maybe piss off James. Maybe. It's Caleb. He's got his own ornament tied around his right wrist. Yes, Princess Læna invited me. I'm not quite sure what the celebration is for, though. The people of Yule celebrate their culture once every 20 noons. It is a sign of peace and belonging. I bite my tongue. They're not exactly peaceful if they go around conquering planets. But mostly, it's to strengthen the relationships between everyone. Everyone has to give their makoet to someone worthy. Otherwise, they themselves are not worthy to be called a gaot. Well, I'm not one of those. I'm a human. Captain Caleb knows a lot, says Eok, impressed. What do you take me for? I've practically been raised here. I point at the ornament on my wrist. Is this the makoet? Affirmative. He leans in closer to me with a smirk. Best be sure you give that away to someone at the end of the dance. Do you already know who you're giving yours to? I ask, curious. He closes his eyes with a satisfied smile. That I do. Lord Veritas may accept mine. Lord Veritas not yet arrived, Eok points out. Perhaps I should investigate. I have matters to attend to. Please enjoy the festival, you two. Caleb bows and then leaves us alone. I would like a fierce option. I would like the option of who to give it to. A fierce option is to purposefully give it to Caleb to piss James off, and then the kind option is just giving it to James, I guess. Eok must leave too. Eok begin dance soon. He gives me an apologetic look. Oh, do I get to see you dance? That's so exciting. He shyly looks away. Yes, Eok not very good. I'm sure you'll do fine. I can't wait to see you dance. He flashes me an adorable grin and then slinks away into the crowd. I know they're like lizard people, but they remind... Eok, in particular, I guess. Not the bigger, beefier ones. But he reminds me of a kobold so much. My feet take me to one of the benches scattered around the site. I sit on the one furthest away from the fire. By the way, it won't make sense if James gives her the Makoet because he clearly doesn't fucking respect her. So don't do that. I look around my surroundings and see people happily engaging in conversation or practicing their dance moves. Sometimes I see them exchange their Makoet. See, okay, like, you can do it in a way, but him doing that would be a turning point to where he doesn't treat her like trash anymore, because you don't treat someone you respect like trash. Some of them are eating at the food stalls. I even see children running around. I tap my foot along with the music. I admit, this is actually kind of fun. I can't wait to see Eok and Læna dance. I wonder if Nornis will attend. Princess, that voice. It's James. That old familiar tone. It sucks all the fun right out of my body. Captain James, I reply exasperatedly. Seems you didn't forget to bring the Makoet with you. Smart. I don't have the memory of a goldfish, you know. He raises an eyebrow as he sits down next to me. Goldfish, he repeats in a strange accent. Oh, I say, realizing my mistake. I shake my head. Forget it. James then directs his attention on the bonfire, surveying the festival in silence. I managed to glance over on his wrist. He's still got his Makoet. Oh, my cat wants to go out. Who is he going to give it to? Would he be just like Caleb and give it to Veritas? Or perhaps someone else thinks he thinks is strong? Princess, I can feel your eyes burning a hole into my arm without having to look. Embarrassed he caught me staring, I quickly look at the dancing children ahead of us. But I'm itching to know. Eok explained to me what they're for. Who are you planning on giving it to? I ask as nonchalant as possible, like I couldn't care less if he answers me or not. But please, do answer me. James remains stoic as ever. He doesn't budge an inch. In fact, he doesn't even blink for the longest time. Yep, he's not going to answer me. I sigh and lean my elbows onto my knees, putting my chin into the palm of my hand. Why did he have to sit next to me, of all people? My sister. Okay. Love it. He suddenly starts and jolts my attention. Every festival, Læna gets my Makoet. How sentimental of him. I was sure he'd pick someone strong, what with his only the strong survive speech the other day. I guess he does seem to care for his siblings a lot. I miss Eric so bad right now. He'd be out there dancing himself silly, making finger guns, pointing at the sky as he shoots out fake laser beams. Now I'm getting sentimental. How many Makoet does that make so far? I ask, wondering how many festivals they've attended. The corner of his mouth curls up slightly. I can't tell whether it's a smile or a smirk. Too many to count. For a split moment, I wonder how old James is. I've always had him pegged around my age, but who knows what the reality is. Besides, their calendar system wouldn't be equal to mine. From the corner of my eye, I spy vivid red hair. I almost want to cry out and hug Cain, until I realize it's bilious. That treacherous, similar hair color of his. Everything is reminding me of home right now. Hello, Bilious. I greet him politely. He takes a seat next to me. I hope you've been enjoying the Marca festival so far. Bilious then notices James. They both stare at each other. Sparks go flying. Hila Bilious, says James in a cool voice. Prince James, Bilious greets him back. Talk about awkward. So, have either of you seen Princess Læna? I believe she said she was leading the dance, no? I start to talk, hoping to relieve some of the tension. Okay. I don't know where he is. She'll be here soon. Last I heard, she was getting ready to wear your outfit. I don't know where he is. I feel like I need to go get him. James joins in the conversation despite clearly not wanting to discuss anything with us. Your outfit? He asks. Remember the fabric we got in the city? I made something with them for Princess Læna. He gives me this cold and disapproving stare. Those scraps of cloth. Why? Is there anything wrong with them? I end up pouting. You better not have made a mockery out of her, he huffs. My cat is being so bad because he wants to go out. But I feel like the chapter's ending's... Okay, I'm gonna let him out. Okay, he was being bad. No one would dare mock her. Sorry, I don't know if I actually... I gave him a little kiss and now his hair is all over my lips. Great. So the lip gloss. Oh, thank you, Bilious. My eyes are sparkling at his compliment. Then I see a horde of guards in the corner of my eye. They're escorting Veritas to his seat, front row of course, away from everyone else. He seems as emotionless and cold as always. I don't spot Nornis anywhere though. Hey, is Prince Nornis attending? I ask Bilious. He shakes his head. He's never allowed to attend. Oh, that's so sad. Even I'm here to enjoy the night. As am I, so please shut your mouth hole and let me watch in silence. You can leave. James cuts me off. Yeah. If the sound of my voice irritates you, you're free to leave, I suggest snarkily. James grits his teeth at me, sounding out a low growl. I might do exactly that. I'm in agreement with the princess, says Bilious, hiding his own smirk. I didn't ask for your opinion, James snaps at him as he gets up from his seat. The drums blast through the palace grounds, silencing anyone, even James, who sits back down. The dance, it's about to start. Everyone takes a seat on the wooden stand, shuffling away from the bonfire. The drums grow louder and more intense. Then a long line of dancers appear, walking down the grand staircase. Oh, Eok is among them. I can see him behind a bunch of others. He seems very focused, an expression I haven't seen on him so far. The Gout move in tune with the drums, smacking their thighs, planting their feet aggressively onto each step. They hit their chest, all in sync with each other. This is very, I don't know the exact right word, but Hawaiian. All in sync with each other. I see male and female alike. Everyone is wearing different outfits. There's no central uniform. I'm gonna look it up properly. The haka. That. Yeah, that stuff. That it's like a chant and stuff, right? Then, as each dancer stands on a step, they split in half, like they're parting the Red Sea. At the very top of the stairs is unmistakably Læna, who descends down each step like the goddess she is. She's dancing, throwing up her hands in the air with each beat, stamping her foot on every step. It's a very powerful movement. I'm entranced. Don't you think she looks beautiful, Bilious? I ask, thinking she looks like she's completely in her element. Bilious seems to be at a loss for words. He's unable to... I pressed the enter button. He's unable to take his eyes off of her. Huh? Why can't I call her beautiful? That's my sister you're talking about here, James grunts, irritated. Eventually, everyone makes it off the stairs and they form a circle around the bonfire, dancing, pounding, slapping. Then they begin to sing, loud words, expressive vocals. Some of them aren't even words. See, it's the haka, right? It gets, inspired. We are here, they chant as they stamp their feet onto the ground. United and strong, we hear your plight. Læna is the one doing her own dance moves, her voice loud and clear, carrying herself above everyone else. Strong together, never alone, for one of many, this is our song. Then people in the audience throw them spears. Each of the dancers catches one, and they all slam them on the ground, making as much ruckus as possible. In tune with the drums, they use their spear like an instrument, twirling, throwing, and then tapping it against the floor. Eok, I can't believe it, looks graceful in his movements, strong and confident even. For being a grunt, he sure knows how to stay in sync with the rest and expertly handles his spear. It's like an extension of his body. My heart is pounding. I'm being dragged into their rhythm, their dance. It's so raw, so emotional. We are here, they roar. Læna is the star of the show, weaving in between the dancers, jumping, sliding, trading spears with one another. She dances with them, a short twirl and linking of the arms, before moving on to the next one. Her hair is constantly in motion, she never stops to take a break. The drums are so powerful, it's hard not to get sucked in with the crowd, who join them in their song. Stomp, stomp, tap. That's the rhythm the crowd goes along with. Oh my god, it's, we will rock you. Don't, don't. Is that what they're doing? Stand together, Læna shouts, pointing her spear at the audience. Ay up, the crowd responds, beating their chest. We hear you. Ay up. Gout live on. The crowd goes absolutely wild. Everyone is standing, pounding their chests, arms, legs, whatever they can get their hands on. It's so easy to get pulled along with all their energy. I want to stomp and pound too. Together we are one, she shouts in one final breath. The dancers all jump in the air, landing in perfect synchronization on the ground to deliver a powerful bang that ricochets against the palace gates. Ay up, they're screaming now, cheering. The dancers all bow until their arms are stretched out and faces pointed to the ground. Læna is breathing hard, as are the rest of the performers. The dance is finished. It's Bilius who stands up first, joining in with the rest of them. He pounds his chest and grunts out the same chant. Bay up, he yells. The crowd repeats the same phrase over and over. This is their way of applauding. I want to honor their incredible performance as well, so I stand up. Absolutely enthralled with their act, I beat my own chest, no matter how painful it might be. Hey up, I shout, mimicking the rest of the crowd. You can just clap too. James gives me one sideways glance until he too unfolds his arms and stands up from his seat. I can hear him slam his fists into his rock-hard pecs. Ooh, his rock-hard pecs. He loudly yells out the chant, same as everyone else. At this moment in time, I'm not a prisoner, I'm not an earthling, neither is Bilius nor James. The crowd has become one, like a magic spell has been cast upon all of us. It feels like we are all gout. Oh, sorry, I don't believe that. With one obvious exception. I can tell through the pounding and cheering that there is exactly one person who hasn't joined in. Veritas. Bored and still, he remains in his seat, unmoving. I'm almost perplexed he hasn't risen to applaud. It's like the spirit of the festival has left him completely cold. The dancers rise from the ground and people from the audience walk over to them, showering them with compliments. They start to exchange their makoet. The applause begins to die down. She did amazing, didn't she? I say, directing my attention to James. He's got this sentimental look on his face. It almost softens his appearance. He's actually smiling. Yes, that she did. He agrees with me. Can I give my makoet to her? James gets up from his seat and walks over to Læna, who is receiving quite a lot of ornaments from supposed fans. He, too, gives his makoet to her. I can spy a tiny smile on his face as he ties it to her wrist. He's proud of her, that much I can tell. Bilius, now's your chance. You can give yours to Læna, too, I say, turning to face the redhead. I'm surprised to find him already removing his makoet. No, I don't think I will, he says softly and gently grabs my wrist. Ooh. In honor of your strength and perseverance in the face of adversity, please accept my makoet. He ties it on my left wrist, not too tight and not too loose. Already experiencing a high from the performance, the rush of emotion surged through me, coloring my cheeks with red complexion. I didn't expect this at all. Thank you so much. I managed to express my gratitude. He gives me the softest of smiles, his eyes twinkling. I can't help but copy him and mirror his smile. Bill! Læna shrieks as she comes over, disrupting our conversation. What did you think of my dance? She asks excitedly, wiping away some sweat from her brow. Her entire left arm has makoet tied around it. She's popular. Absolutely breathtaking. You are the best. Please take this, she says, pinching his cheek. She ties her makoet around his left wrist. I don't know what I expected, but I'm so impressed with your dance, Princess Læna. I compliment her. Oh, keep the compliments coming, she says with a chuckle. In the background, I see James and Caleb talking amongst themselves. Both of them have given away their own, but only James has gotten some in return. Then I spy Eok, who— oh my god, let me give it to Eok. I want to give it to Eok. I spy Eok, who is collecting the forgotten spears on the ground. He hasn't received a makoet from anyone yet. Who should I give my makoet to? Oh, I can choose? I kind of want to give it to Eok. Why can't I save at this point? I'm gonna give it to Eok. I grin to myself as I shoot my hand up in the air. Of course Eok gets a makoet. If he doesn't even have any, that's so fucking sad. Eok! I call out for him as I rush over. Startled, Eok ends up dropping some of the spears to the ground when he hears my voice. Princess, he says nervously as he bends down to pick them up again. I'm so impressed with you, Eok, I gush about him. He presses the spears against his chest. Impressed with Eok? He asks, baffled. Yes, I saw the way you moved. I don't know, I've never seen you act so serious and focused before. It was like you were a different person entirely. Eok rubs the back of his head, laughing nervously. Haha, not realize that Princess kept watch on Eok. How could I not? You looked really amazing up there, especially the way you handled that spear. Good job. Eok's forehead ends up turning a more vibrant red. He's clearly embarrassed. It's rather cute. Thank you, Princess. And that's why, here, I want you to have it, I say as I remove the makoet from my wrist. His eyes turn large when I grab his hand. For sticking up for me and helping me whenever, please accept my makoet, I say with a smile. But Eok? He asks, floored I would ever decide on giving it to him. Of course. Well? Respectfully, he lightly bows his head and closes his eyes, allowing me to tie the makoet to his left wrist. Grinning all the while, Eok deserves it in my opinion. I neatly tie it up to make sure it won't fall off. He keeps staring at it with his golden eyes like he's in shock. My first, he gasps, astonished. Oh, I love him, Your Honor. It's a little disheartening to hear him say that it's his first. As I'm about to pull away, Eok grabs my hand. Wait, he says. His voice doesn't sound as shrill as usual. Princess Valkii is pure-hearted. He starts to remove his own maquette. He wraps the ribbon around my left wrist. Even to a grunt like me, he says with a tiny smile. He ties it off and releases me. Aw, he gave one back to me. This makes me feel all fuzzy inside. Then something dawns on me about his speech pattern. Huh? Me? I repeat. I thought you always referred to yourself as Eok. Realizing what he said, he starts to panic a little. Eok's speech not always bad, just a bit clumsy, not stupid, he mutters. I don't think you're stupid, Eok. Thank you for the maquette. You're probably the first friend I've made over here. Huh? Friend? He echoes my words. Yes, my friend. He starts grinning widely. Aye, friend. He's a little kobold. Eventually, the festivities come to an end. I'm feeling energized and actually quite happy. I've received 2 maquette, which feels special. One thing that jumped out to me is that Veritas was the only person there who didn't give away his own. He didn't accept any either, so people resorted to placing them on the ground in front of him, like an offering. Why join the festival if you weren't going to participate? I'm ready to head back to my room and sleep. The festival was fun, but also very emotionally draining and exhausting. A lot of people have already left, so it wouldn't be strange if I left too, right? Even Læna is making her quick getaway. Oh, she dropped one of the maquette. Don't make me give one to James, I don't want to. No, she dropped one of the maquette around her wrist. Princess Læna! I shout out to her, but the crowd is still lively and she doesn't quite hear me. Unbeknownst to my yelling, Læna quickly retreats towards the side of the castle gates. I walk up to the forgotten maquette on the ground and pick it up. Someone wanted her to have this, so it would be respectful to give it back to her. Also, we're going to maybe catch her in a compromising position? I don't know. I end up following her, seeing her disappear into one of the doors. Princess Læna? I ask, seeing nothing but an empty hallway. No, wait, there she is at the very end. Damn, she's fast. I'm about to yell at her when I see her pull down on a torch like a lever. The wall suddenly opens up in front of her as she quickly goes through the opening. Lever? Why did I say lever? I'm left perplexed and wide awake. Is that a secret entrance? Before I know it, the hole is closed up. My spoiderby senses are tingling. Time to investigate. I walk towards the end of the hallway and study the lit torch on the wall. She simply pulled on it. Let me try. Torch easily pulls down and I can hear the mechanism unlock on the inside of the wall. The stones disappear into the wall, revealing an opening to the outside. Ooh. Oh no. Okay. I'll see you in the next one because I hate the screen.